1, 2. Okay, thanks.
What I call unhealthy compromise is anything you compromise that makes you stop being who you are. So if it affects your individuality, then that's not good compromise.
Oh, okay. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Joavini. So this is the second installment of a series called Let's Talk About Love. On this episode, I have my mom, and we're gonna talk about relationships, marriage, and
Sex.
Okay, Mom, tell us a few things about yourself.
Well, as Joabeni say, I'm her mom. I'm Yvette. I am a mother of 3. I've got 2 girls and 1 son, and married to just 1 man for the last 22 years. Yeah, that's
What
me.
are 3 words you would use to describe yourself?
I'm a people's people. I advocate for women especially women from Africa, to stand for themselves. So I'm sort of a feminist, but a Christian feminist, because there's so many feminists out there, and it tends to have a very negative connotation.
Mm-hmm.
But there is good to it. And I love life. I love life.
You love life?
Mm-hmm.
Do you love life right now?
I do.
Oh, that's nice. What do you love?
Everything. Everything from the little things that God has given me to the big things. We have a big role to play in how we want our life to play. So, yeah, I like to enjoy every minute that I have, because it's precious and it doesn't come back.
Okay, thank you. That was much better. Okay. Now I feel like we know who you are a little bit.
Okay.
Thanks. So we're just gonna start off by asking, why are relationships generally important? And not like romantic, but just relationships with people. Just generally, why are they important to have?
Well, from a Christian's perspective, when God created Adam and Eve, He created Adam first, and then He said it wasn't good for man to be alone. He had created all the beings that He had created before that, they all had an alike or an equal, and so He created Eve for Adam. And I think we are beings that were created to be social, and part of being social, for us to be social in a healthy way, we need to have relationship. There's no other way around being social. So that's why it makes families, it makes the world we are in. So it's very much part of who we are as people.
Okay. So now we're gonna start the topic talking about relationships first, but mostly like dating, courting, whatever the word is. What do you think of the famous phrase, relationship goals? Do you know it?
I'm still on.
Yeah. Mom. Anyways, carry on.
Yeah. You were trying to explain what it means
Yeah.
earlier, because I'm such an old person.
You've never heard that before?
No, but you explained it. Can you explain it again? What did you say it meant again?
Relationship goals.
Mm.
People say relationship goals for a couple that they admire.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember now. So, I don't believe in that, in the sense that I was telling Joy and the kids earlier, that when I had just been married for a few years, and there was this couple, I always used to say, oh my God, I really want to be like this. Oh my God, look at them. Oh my God, I wish we were like them. And then one day, a tragedy happened in that family and things came in the open, and it happened so quickly, so quickly. The husband ended up, even killing himself. And so, my kind of like model of a couple just went crumbling down in a few, in a few days or weeks. And so, what I've learned from that experience is that, things look good. It's like, things look good from outside, but you never know what it is on the inside. And we as human beings, we like to portray the good thing. We don't show things the real way it is. We'll be holding each other outside, and we may be fighting inside the house. So I think each person has to make their relationship the best that they can. And the worst thing you can do is just keep on looking at others, because we are all different. So we can build what we want to build, the best of what we want to build, however we want to build it.
Okay. So now I want you to, in the whole conversation, just imagine that you're talking to young youth.
Okay.
Just because you like youth anyways. If you didn't know, my mom also likes young youth, mostly young women or the young ladies.
Sorry
She's
guys,
a mother
I have
to somebody.
nothing wrong against you.
Yeah, true, but she's not only a mother to me and my siblings, she's a mother to some random woman out there. So, when do you think is the right time to start dating / is there a difference between dating and courting? Like, do you even know what dating is? Is there a difference between dating and courting?
No, I don't think so, and maybe I'm not that old, but I think courting was just done probably in a more maybe it must have done it in an old-fashioned way back in the days, and it's probably an old word, but in today's day, it equates to dating, basically, I think.
Oh, okay. So when do you think is the right time? Is there even a right time, or can you do it whenever you feel?
I think there's a right time, but not in the sense that you have to be 25 or you have to be, 30, but there's a right time in the sense of who you are. I think before a person engage in, especially in an intimate relationship, you have to know yourself as a person. You have to be sufficient in the sense that a lot of people get into relationship hoping that so-and-so is going to make me happy. I need someone to make me happy. If you can't be happy within yourself and you want to be in a relationship so that someone else makes you happy, then something is wrong already, that you're not ready for that. So you need to be content with who you are and know who you are as a person. Also, I think it's important as well before you step into a relationship that, if you have any baggages that you need to deal with, that you deal with them. Don't get into a relationship with your baggages hoping that, they're going to get fixed. So for instance, what I'm calling baggage in this instance is, there's a lot of things that can happen to people in their childhood. People can be, for instance, molested or abused in a way. And those things, if a person hasn't dealt with it, when they enter into a relationship, they'll find it hard to be in a loving relationship if they have been abused. So you need to start that journey on your own before stepping into a relationship, because things get messier, and and what you were hoping for doesn't always happen.
Do you have to be fully healed and fully knowing yourself and fully, because you can still grow with that person?
Yeah.
So
I don't think you have to fully, but I think if you've already taken the step of healing, then you already know there is an issue that you need to deal with, and you need to be open with that person, and that person need to be supportive and on board, that they will be there to take that journey with you. It's very important that they understand where you're at and what to do and what not to do, and they have to be 100% ready to be to know that, yes, this is what I want. I really want. I'm gonna be here to support you in this as we journey together.
Okay. What kind of conversations should we be having before we enter relationships? with someone?
So I think you have to. So I call them the deal breaker. So the deal breaker is whatever is a must for you to have in a relationship. So you need to know what your deal breaker are before you enter into a relationship, because otherwise it's a waste of your time to spend so much energy into a relationship to only realize at the end that is things that are really important for you that are actually not important for the other person. So you need to determine what are my deal breaker and be very open at the beginning and say, these are the 3 that are very important for me that I cannot go without having in a relationship.
Okay.
And then, and take it from there.
Okay. So, anything else?
No, I think that's it for now.
Okay. What are the key ingredients to a successful, healthy relationship?
Okay. So the first one, I think, which is probably not just in that, in any relationship, communication is very important. You need to communicate, you need to be able to communicate your needs when you're unhappy in a healthy way, but communication of everything is very important. I think trust is another very important thing, because if you don't have trust, you're not going to be watching that person 24/7. If you don't have trust, it's going to cause a lot of issues. So trust is very important, and then respect. I think in any relationship, respect of one another is a very important thing, and I think those 3 are probably, for me, the biggest key that makes a healthy relationship.
And friendship.
Yes, and friendship.
Do you have any relationship advice that you would want to give just to close off the dating aspect of everything?
I think probably one advice that I will give is so in any relationship or friendship, you will need to compromise. And there's a healthy compromise. There's what I call unhealthy compromise, and there's what I call healthy compromise. So a healthy compromise could be, for instance, I don't like soccer. My partner likes soccer. I can go watch a soccer game just to please him. I would never have done that on my own. I would not pay money for that. I don't think it's worth my money. But for his sake, because it's something that he likes, I'm happy to do it.
Okay.
What I call unhealthy compromise is anything you compromise that makes you stop being who you are. So if it affects your individuality, then that's not good compromise.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Now moving on to marriage. How does one know that they are ready to get married?
That's a tough question. That is a very tough question. I don't think there is like a formula, or it's a one fit all. I think as you journey with someone in your relationship, it gets to a point where you both feel we need more. We need more from this relationship than what we currently have. And I think at that stage, you probably are ready to get married. You will both pretty much know when it's time for the next level.
Mom. I always get annoyed whenever people say, you will know. When you know, you will know. But I get what you're saying. I think it's true. But do you have anything else besides when you know, you know?
Anything else? See, that's a really hard question.
Mm-hmm.
It is a really hard question. Like in my instance, we prayed about it. And then, we prayed about it, and then, it got to a point where God spoke to us, and then we knew that was the right time for us to get married. But I think if you've had a very good relationship, there will be a time where you want something, because relationship, they change. How you were when you were together at the beginning is not the same when you are 1 year together, or you you need more from the relationship as you get along, and it gets to a point where you know there are other things that we want to do that we can't do at the moment. So there are other things that we would like to experience, and we are ready to experience those things. I think that's all I can say.
Okay. No, that makes sense. I didn't mean to cut you off, because
good.
it's true. When you know, but everybody says that.
Well, it means it has some truth in it.
So what are the important questions to ask before you get married, in comparison to before you enter the relationship? Are there any big differences?
Yeah, I think there are big differences, because guess what? When you're married to someone, you live with a person 24/7. Well, you go to work and stuff like that, but you still come back to the same house. You share the same bed. It's not like a relationship. When you are dating, you all go back to your homes. It's very different. So there's a lot of things that you're going to talk about. You're going to put your assets together. If you have any assets, it's not just going to be you thinking, before you think, you have to think of the other person. So it's really different. If Joy wants to go out, she can just go out. She just tells her parent, I'm going out, and she goes out. When you have that person, you need to check with that person, So it's not just as a single person. What you now have a second person to think about before you do things. So it's very different. And I think it's very important before you get married, like way before, not 3 months before you get married, way before you get married. Probably, I'll say if you're engaged, that's probably the right time to see a counselor. Even before, if you can, I think it's always a good thing. It's not something that is done, but I always reckon that by the time you're engaged to someone, you've already invested so much. And if you've
already decided.
Yeah, and if you could see a counselor before that to determine if this is really what you think it is, I think it's even better. Then you don't have to waste time together, because you invest not just with your physical, your emotional is invested as well. Your whole being is invested in that relationship. So I always say to people, it's really good to see a counselor, someone that will help you. Because there's a lot of things that people don't think about. There's finances. You have to think about finances. You have to think about children. How many children do you want? Because things like that, they do affect relationship if you don't talk about it. Like you could be with someone not knowing that this person doesn't want children, but you want children, but you've never spoken about it because you've just thought that it's just normal for people to want children, but it's not a normal thing for everybody. And so now you are married and you realize so-and-so does not want children at all. But it is too late. You are married now, and it's causing a lot of problem in your marriage that if you had known prior, you probably would have decided if you still want to go on or not. So I think, there's children that you need to discuss. There's, finances.
What do you discuss about finances exactly?
So finances, you would, for instance, if you've got debts, you will need to say those things. You don't want to get married to someone that has a lot of debts and haven't told you about it. So you need to be open about, this is what I owe, this is what I have, this is paid, this is not paid, all those things. And then you have to decide, going forward, this is what we are going to do with our finance. We might have one account. We're going to be, this is how we're going to be paying our bills. This is, how much you can spend on things that you want. You'll need to discuss finance, all aspects of finance. And that's why having that person, that counselor, they are there, they're trained to help you navigate those issues. So, children, you have to talk about sex, you have to...
What exactly? We haven't got to that part. But what exactly would you be talking about?
About what?
About sex.
About sex? Well, I think it's important in the sense that you have to understand, and I know because, you both probably, hopefully have never had sex. But, and it's a new thing for both of you. So you need to, if you have some expectation, of that person, you probably, this is a good time to talk about it, because you want to talk about what you expect from that. You would also want to talk about your families, your in-laws. A counselor again would help you to understand that families are lovely, but once two people are married, they're just two people. You have to set boundaries with your families. You don't want to get married to someone who's always listening to their mothers or to their fathers about everything. You want to be able to get married to someone who's an individual that can make their own decisions. They don't have to run to their parents. So you have to discuss all those sort of things that are very important. Yeah.
Okay. You didn't mention spirituality.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's a very important one, but I think it's probably because that's probably something you would have spoken at the beginning. Yeah, because that's very important. If people are not of the same beliefs or don't believe in the same thing, it's going to be very hard for you if you're married. And I always say to, when I have conversation with young people, and I've said it to Joe as well, that, when you're getting married, it's not just about you two. It's going to affect your generation and your next generation. So whatever decision you make right now, if tomorrow you have children, they will affect it. So like I had a cousin who really loved this girl, but they were both Christians, but from different denomination. And I knew my cousin, he was never going to leave his church for anybody. And I knew the girl's family, and I was like, well, I'm telling you right now, they're not going to give you their girl if you don't come on the other side. And so I said to him, how are you going to, when you get married and tomorrow, let's say you have children, what's going to happen to those kids? I know for sure that you're going to take them to your church. And I know for sure that the girl, because I know her, she's going to take them to her church. And I say to him, so what's going to happen to those poor children? They're going to be so fed up with Christianity, and because they'll be so confused, learning from this place and from that place. And then you've got kids that are so confused and they don't know what to believe in. Mm-hmm. So it's really important to be of the same understanding and know exactly what are we going to do if we have children. If you decide to still go and get married and you believe in different things, you really have to have those discussions early, because otherwise it can affect your next generation.
Okay. What about gender roles? Do gender roles exist? What are they?
That's a tricky one. So I think there is some truth to it. I think gender role does exist. But at the same time, I think, working as a team is important. Adam and Eve, when God created Eve, he said he's going to create her a companion, someone to support him, so they can walk this journey together of life. As a woman, I always feel as a woman, there's a lot on my shoulder as a woman and as a mother to children. And I think, if you are a person that believes in God, you will know that we all have different roles, but it doesn't mean a husband cannot cook or cannot look after his kids. It's definitely not what I mean, because Joy would know, for one, I am not that type of a person. But I still think as a woman, it is my job to ensure that my family, is well looked after. I organize the house, organize what's needed in the house. I point people in the right direction about what they need. So I think as a woman, you've got a bigger role in terms of your household. It sits on our shoulder more than the men, but definitely we all are in this together. And Joy will know, her dad, if I'm not home, he's been in the kitchen so many times since they were little kids. So he doesn't mind cleaning his house, because at the end of the day, it's not just my house, it's our house. He's looked after his kids his whole time if I wasn't there. So we literally work together. But I think in working together, we all, like, he always tells me, oh, you need to tell me what you want me to do, because you kind of like the manager of the house, so I need to know what helps you need, because I'm not gonna know on my own. So yeah, we all have different role, but it's pretty much very different these days in the sense that back in the days, it was man's job to feed his family, so men will go out and work, and then women will stay at home and look after the home and the children. Whereas these days, guess what? We all got to work.
Mm-hmm.
So now things have to change a little bit, so that we all have to work as a team and try and find out what suits us better, what works for us better. Yeah.
So is it really about the gender roles, or is it about your strengths and weaknesses?